Welcome back to RainBro Crafts. Today we're going to show you how we make our Kristi's Lavender Field soap. This soap is one of our essentials collections, which means it's only scented with essential oils or no fragrances at all. We'll start out here by adding in our lye water solution into our signature plant-based oil blend. This blend we have fine-tuned over the past 2 years. It's vegan, it's palm oil free, which is nice. Sometimes it's hard to find artisan soap without palm oil in it. You'll see me adding in our colloidal oatmeal slurry next. This is just colloidal oatmeal mixed in with a little bit of water, and then we'll strain this through a fine mesh sieve just to get out any lumps or clumps. Colloidal oatmeal is a really nice additive to soap. It gives it a nice silky feel. When you're using it, it also has some nice skin properties as well. So it's just a nice all-around additive. You'll see me blending that in just a little bit. We just want to make sure it's well incorporated. We're gonna take out the stick blender. Next, we'll add in our lavender essential oil. Like I mentioned before, this soap is only scented with essential oils, in this case lavender. We'll blend that up. We don't want to blend it up too much because we don't want the soap batter to thicken before we want it to, but we do want to make sure that fragrance is blended all the way throughout the soap batter, and we do want to thicken up the batter just a little bit. We're going to then take the stick blender out again, set it aside. We are going to then pour half of our soap batter into our wooden soap slab mold. Now this makes 3 loaves of soap, which is about 27 bars for us. We're gonna, like I said, take half of the soap batter out, set that aside. That will remain uncolored. Then we're gonna add in our purple mica from Brambleberry into our soap batter. This is gonna give us a nice lavendery, shiny effect, and it's going to really contrast nicely with the uncolored base of our soap. You'll just see me getting out all of the mica. That's just suspended in a little bit of our soap oil. We're going to blend it up really quickly. Again, we don't want to make this false trace or trace, which means to thicken before we want it to. We just want to make sure that purpley color is blended all throughout the soap batter. You can kind of see here it's thickening just a little bit. We're gonna take the stick blender out and we are done with that now. We'll scrape it down. It makes cleanup afterwards much easier, which is nice. It's nice for us. It's just us doing our soap dishes ourselves. We'll set that aside. Like I said, we're done with it. We'll scrape down the sides of our bucket. This is just to make sure that every bit of soap batter is incorporated into that colorful purpley section. It doesn't really do a whole lot more than that, especially with this final design. It's not the most important step. We will then pull our soap mold towards us, and we're going to do what's called a drop swirl. This adds nice globs of purple into our final bar, which you'll see when we cut it here in a minute. And we'll just go back and forth a few times until we've used up all of our soap batter. You'll see me here kind of drizzling our purple soap on top of that base color. That's just going to add a little extra purple to the top of our bar of soap, which just makes it look a little bit nicer. We're going to scrape out that container to get out as much of that soap as possible, so it ends up in our final bar. Now once all that's scraped, we're going to set all of those soap dishes aside. And now it's time to do my favorite part, which is to swirl the top. Off screen, I tapped this on the ground just to pop any air bubbles that may have been in there. We're going to do a little loose swirling action on the top to just distribute that purple color a little bit more. We then wait depending on the soap batter, a minute, 30 seconds, 2 minutes even, until we can add a nice design to the top. This is one of our go-to spoon swoop methods. And we just go down. Like I said, we split this slab into 3 loaves, so you'll see me kind of pulling the soap top into 3 mold sections. Then we're going to sprinkle on some dried lavender buds just to give it a little bit more of a homemade garden natural appearance. These usually just fall off after the first wash or so, but they look really nice on the final product. And then for this specific bar that I'm making, I'm going to also put a little bit more of that purple mica on the top to give it a little more of a shimmery, purpley, lavendery effect. Apparently I wasn't happy here with the swoops, so I went back through and kind of tightened them up. I'm evening out the bars a little bit. They kind of got a little crooked, which happens. And you'll just see me kind of swooping again, lining everything up, making it a little nicer, a little more even. Depending on what soap we're making and what scent, this step can be really quick. The soap can harden up very quickly, almost instantly. This batter is really well behaving. We make it all the time, so I'm pretty comfortable with it. Now you'll see I'm running a chopstick around the edges. This just makes sure it releases from the mold really well once we release it. And I'm also just spritzing it with some rubbing alcohol to help it not get any soda ash on the top once it's dry. This is 24 hours later, so we unmolded it from that big slab mold, and now we're using our slab splitter to split that loaf, or that slab, into 3 separate loaves. You can kind of see some of that swirly purple pattern poking through while I'm slicing this. We keep all of our extra scraps and we actually reprocess them into a new bar of soap. So that's where those thin slivers go. And now I'm just going to do a slicing montage here. And you can see how that drop swirl added really unique purple patterns to every bar. Every bar is going to be unique. Some has more purple, some has more cream. It's really a mystery until you cut into that soap. And that is it. That is how we make our Kristi's lavender field. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.